It's been 4 years since that animated Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde review, but I think I'm finally ready to go back to Burbank, which houses the Notre Dame Cathedral, apparently. A lot of the Burbank films are just extremely dreary, which is why it's been so long since I've covered one of their animations, but there are actually two very different flavors of Burbank. Their first bunch were made in the 80s, which is when they were known as Burbank Films Australia, and their main goal with these movies seemed to be to depress children. Some of these Burbank features are just a chore to sit through. The Jekyll and Hyde one to date has been the most fun I've been able to get out of one from this group.
Henry! Oh my god!
A lot of the animation from the ones during this era is just very unappealing to me as well. I just kind of dislike most of that style and find the characters look rather disgusting. But, luckily, Burbank came back with a much more good timesy style in the 90s. Rebranded as Burbank Animation Studios, we got more of that classic cheap cash-in style out of them. And even though I don't like how most of their 80s stuff looked for the most part, the animation had much more quality and effort put into it than their cheaper 90s stuff. Now, Burbank actually made first a Hunchback of Notre Dame adaptation in 1986, which seems like a pot-smashing riot.
Yes, indeed.
Now, get out of here. We have drinking to do.
Which is also recommended if you choose to watch that one. Or their 90s one, because yeah, Burbank thought they were so good at Notre Dame, they did it twice. Their second take on the tale came out in 1996, which is of course the year of the Disney one and the year of every other cash-in of Notre Dame that I've done a video on. Except Dingo, they were in 97 since they needed to put a little more effort into theirs than the rest.
Welcome one and all, sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, to another one of my special wizard tales.
And for some unknown reason, Burbank decided a terrifyingly ridiculous live-action wizard was the way to introduce most of their 90s fare.
Come to my animated world.
Of course, I'm not animated because we were too lazy and didn't want to bother to pay for that. Even when I do become a drawn picture at the end of this very incompetent-looking intro, that's all I am, a still picture. But look at how awkward and jaggedy the slapped-on text on my book is.
It is New Year's Eve, 1599.
Oh yeah, they've upped the date a bit in this one, as the tale usually takes place in the 1400s, but they had a really good reason for doing so. So it was more modern! You know, those children of the 90s, they were way more into the 1600s than those outdated 1400s.
There was now peace in France.
Which we won't be showing you in this story.
Even the bells of Notre Dame Cathedral sound happy.
And I'm so out of it, I think the bell ringing is coming from in between the towers.
Happy bells!
Now, get out of here. We have drinking to do.
After more laughing, we see why everyone in Paris is so perma-stoned, which is a cruddy juggling act, while Nicholas Fraud of the Jungle shows the law of gravity doesn't really apply to him. I don't know if it really deserves all this laughter, though. I mean, it's no cat on a chair on a nose balancing act. It does get kinda funny, though, when George of the Notre Dame Jungle tries to murder his partner by lodging a ball down his throat. See? I believe I can die. But oh wow, Esmeralda is spinning in a circle with a tambourine.
That's the most important part.
You have the mark of evil.
Rude. rude, Esmeralda. You know, you kind of brought on your Frollo problems yourself this time. And seriously, this dorky Frollo has enough problems as it is, being the loser mashup of Jafar and Ratcliffe.
It's a birthmark.
Dude, a pen bursting on you doesn't make it a birthmark. Wash your hands, stupid Frollo D1.
Witch.
Only a witch could possibly see dirty hands!
You know, Lord Frollo.
Ah, yes, this is yet another thing Frollo gets to be in an adaptation. Now he's a lord! A lord of what exactly? I don't really know, but apparently he's buddies with the king and gets to boss the guards around.
Under the reign of King Henry IV.
Oh yeah, this guy is King Henry IV. Looks just like him, right? But I guess they really had to change the year of this story so that they could include King Henry. He barely does anything.
Cheer up, Frollo.
But at least he did rename Frollo Frollo.
Enjoy yourself, man.
I thought I'd say something, but I'd look much smarter just standing here with my mouth open.
That woman, sire. I'm certain she's a gypsy.
Is she trying to hide that?
Next thing you'll be telling me that you still believe the earth is flat.
Yeah, good thing over 400 years later, there's no one out there silly enough to still believe that.
Sire, the earth is flat.
Now I'm going to flame you online for daring to call me out on my glorious BS.
And I suppose the moon is made of Swiss cheese, huh?
This is one offensive movie. First it takes a shot at the flat earthers, and now the moon cheesers? Oh well, at least we'll always know that the earth is bigger than the sun. 'Cause I mean, just look at it!
My goodness, what an exquisite sight.
I tell ya, a woman who apparently doesn't actually know how to use a tambourine is amazing.
I say, young woman, what is your name?
Why, my name is Christmas Day.
Here!
Buy me a roast or something. What story is this again?
I do see why Frollo has an angry boner for Esmeralda, though. What with all the jumpy animation loops she keeps pulling off. Good stuff. This guy agrees. Someone is watching my show! I didn't realize!
The Hunchback! After him!
I would remark how bored this crowd must be to all decide to just chase Quasimodo for having the gall to exist. But I suppose they did establish how easily amused these morons are earlier. And according to the animation here, Quasimodo has a bum leg. This is very important to remember, as the animators sure aren't going to when we see him running later on. Man, even Gargamel's descendant is in on this. Probably thinks Hunchbacks taste delicious.
He's getting away!
How? You guys are the slowest mob ever. They somehow manage to chase him in a complete circle around town while never catching up, but the Quaster manages to win them over by stumbling around on stage. Easiest crowd ever. Jeez, you could put the most unlikable jackass up there and they'd eat it up.
Looks like all the goobers are blowing town. And here we are, a bunch of fluffernutters. Oh, God! Oh, cut it out!
Oh, I went too far.
Let's crown him King of the Clowns!
Well, that is no you is the Pope of Fools. Dingo Quasi wins this round, you Burbank loser. Aw, that made him sad. Oh wait, no, he's happy. Or is anything actually going on in his head? Oh well, to make up for the lack of personality of Burbank's Hunchback, they gave him a couple of dove sidekicks that kind of buzz around his head like flies. They don't talk or really do anything, but they certainly are there.
Quasimodo, I am guardian of an ass.
Frollo, the guardian of an ass. Line of the movie right there.
How dare he make a fool of me in public again?
I can do a fine job of that myself, thank you very much. A non-stop thrill ride. Wait, this movie never promised that, so I guess I can't complain.
Come to harm the king, have you?
I am so tired of all the polite assassins who knock first around here.
You're under arrest!
No!
No! Well, I didn't expect that. Guess this arrest was kind of arbitrary anyway.
And then Esmeralda turned into a really silly-looking zombie.
She was going to murder the king!
I don't see any weapons, guard.
If I don't see a weapon in her hands right now, she couldn't have possibly wanted to kill the king.
It's good that both sides are incredibly corrupt and thick. Really balances things out.
You have the sanctuary of the cathedral.
You might be wondering who Mr. Keep the Criminals on the Streets Priesty Boy is, and he is the most important addition to any Hunchback of Notre Dame story ever. He is Exposition Priest.
Quasimodo, the bell ringer will care for you.
Yeah, just volunteer him for that. It's not like Quasimodo has enough problems of his own. Oh, and there's yet another priest for Frollo to complain about Quasimodo to. And I don't understand how Frollo is Quasimodo's guardian when it would be the pointless priest duo that'd be the ones taking care of him here. Really don't know why they didn't just make Frollo part of the church instead of being Lord Wiener.
He's not to be seen in public.
The poor fellow's allowed just a little fun.
No! He's hideous!
Why did I become his guardian anyway? Oh, we don't have a good reason for that in this one? Okay, moving on.
3, 2, 1!
Yeah, that seems accurate. Oh yeah, this was the year when Quasimodo became Caesar. And it goes on like that.
My people are not welcome in the city these days.
What? Since when? And how would you know? You've been hanging out in Sanctuary, haven't you?
Perhaps we should pray.
Pray? I am a gypsy. I do not know how.
It is quite simple, my dear. You kneel like this.
Ugh, I don't need to see Exposition Priest mansplain praying.
Stop! Stop this at once! Blasphemy!
The church is no place for prayer!
You're a witch who steals men's hearts with your beauty and then sends me... them... mad! You shall be burned at the stake!
Just go jerk your anger boner off. Phelous will show you how.
Esmeralda, go up to the tower and rest.
Boy, I tell you, this movie sure uses its runtime well. I thought some time had passed. You seriously mean to tell us that Esmeralda hadn't met the guy in charge of taking care of her yet? And of all the things to leave out of your expositions, you might have given her a heads up on what Quasimodo looked like, you jackass!
Quasimodo not hurt you. Quasimodo not hurt you. I not hurt you.
I hate Quasimodo in this one. He just repeats himself over and over. Why can't he be fresh and review 5 adaptations of the same story? This chase does go on to the point of ridiculous, no, with the Quasner once again deciding that kidnapping Esmeralda is a-okay. Until he gets arrested for it, and this is also where we meet Burbank's Phelous, who's been turned into more of a genuine good guy, like in the Disney one, instead of Good Times' more accurate portrayal. Yeah, take that, Burbank! Good Times is kicking your ass! Though you're both doing about the same for giving anyone much character development.
They think I'm a witch.
Which you are not, of course. I can see that.
If you're hot, you can't be a witch.
Mine is Phoebus.
Phelous. Is this the name of the man?
I'm the man!
Quasimodo not hurt. Quasimodo, friend.
Let it go! That was hours ago, man!
did you say?
That you would pull my finger? Do it!
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Was she about this tall?
Yes, she was, sir.
And did she have eyes that shone brighter than the most beautiful stars in the night sky?
That is her, exactly, sir.
Oh yeah, the girl about this tall with the eyes. I know exactly the one.
She needs to be punished.
For giving me permanent jazz hands! Oh yeah, and if you're waiting for any kind of payoff to Frollo's ink-stained hand, it's not coming. It was just to let us know that he's evil, because we're too stupid to figure that out from his shallow motives.
You tried to talk to the king about our situation?
Oh wow, Disney's Phoebus really let himself go.
That is when all of my troubles began.
I'm baked.
Nobody expects the
French.
Inquisition.
The accused has confessed his guilt.
What did looking at him have to do with anything? You can cut some of this crap out, Burbank. I wouldn't complain.
I sentence you to 2 whole days in public stocks.
This will teach you a lesson, Quasimodo.
Maybe next time you won't dare to exist. Because really, that's all he barely does in this one. Man, he sucks.
Quasimodo sure is ugly. Not like us beautiful people, right guys?
Quasimodo would never have hurt you. He's almost deaf from the bells.
Thanks, exposition priest. Could have gotten to that a little sooner, though. But yeah, because it was just explained to her now is the only reason Esmeralda does the watering of the hunchback in this one. Which is pretty much the only thing in this town that the crowd really hates.
I can't believe that Esmeralda heel turn!
Oh yeah, I'm still wanted by the police, I forgot! Too bad exposition priest couldn't have given him water,
But that's not his job.
Oh, and the crowd really hates Quasimodo being let go because clearly they had nothing else to do. Now all their tomatoes are gonna go to waste. If only these people had had YouTube, then they all could have just stayed home and left stupid comments on Quasimodo's rubbish bell reviews.
Today we'll be looking at the Notre Dame bells made out of a bronze alloy. They sound pretty good. Just kidding, I don't know how they sound anymore. They've made me deaf.
Ah, he's humiliated me again! Thumbs down! How many tomatoes did this crowd bring for this? Ah, finally a Hunchback of Notre Dame adaptation that has a bathing of King Henry scene.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Like the bellringer's got bats in his belfry.
Well, we know who'd love that joke. I'm glad there's so many laughy adaptations of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It really is a hilarious tale.
Esmeralda, 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 Esmeralda.
Put him back in the stocks. Esmeralda now has her work cut out for her avoiding the hate boner squads. Of course, she could just go back to Notre Dame Cathedral to her sanctuary. But why do that when she can go to a masquerade party hosted by the people trying to catch her?
But I mean, they would never know that this was Esmeralda.
She couldn't even be bothered to change her dress. Then she even performs her little tambourine dance. Really undercover here. Though she is putting her life on the line for a very good reason. To hit on Phoebus.
That's her! Arrest her!
That didn't work out well for her.
Are you sure about this? Such a beautiful young woman surely could not be a witch.
I'm such a nice king. I think we should only arrest ugly people.
Esmeralda, Esmeralda.
Well, he's come a long way.
As for your beauty, I can
see what Lord Frollo means. I've never seen anyone with such perfect eyes.
Your worship, watch out! Don't look at her!
I see what you mean.
The twist better be that Esmeralda really is a witch after that.
Esmeralda.
Wow, I don't know about this beauty people keep saying they see in you. You really are a witch. Exposition priest to the rescue exposition, cause someone has to tell Quasars the plot. The end again for reals. I wish.
It's really kind of funny when there's a Hunchback of Notre Dame adaptation where the Hunchback is kind of an afterthought.
Oh well, time for Phoebus's foolproof plan of printing up Esmeralda is innocent flyers. Yes, really.
Esmeralda is innocent.
Well, I guess I can't argue with this. It's on a piece of paper.
What Phoebus really needed was for the internet to be around, because if he put it on the internet, it'd be true, just like everything on the internet.
Quasimodo, hello, friend.
Your friendship means more to me than I can tell you.
Actually, the real reason I can't tell you anything about our friendship is because it only consisted of me giving you water as a way to say my bad for getting you arrested.
No monkey business now.
I love giving the guard ample time to stop me before I very slowly attack, yet somehow I still manage to get him.
Quasimodo, not your friend.
Awkward.
Are they banging? Or did Quasimodo somehow manage to kill him by having a death grip on his shoulders? Well, if he was supposed to be dead, someone forgot to tell him. Luckily, though, he's apparently as light as a feather, and I guess the only guard in this entire jail.
I seek forgiveness.
But I can only offer exposition. You have come to the wrong place.
Esmeralda, she's not a witch.
Of course she's not. She's hot. Are you sure?
How could she escape?
He's a hunchback.
The Hunchback. Quasimodo.
Frollo, the new greatest Notre Dame detective! Move aside, Pierre.
Oh, well?
Speaking of, Burbank didn't give us Pierre in this one, so that's a thumbs up.
Thank you, dear Quasimodo.
Quasimodo, Esmeralda, friends.
Oh no! I'm in the friend zone!
I demand you release the gypsy woman.
Who am I? Why am I in this?
An innocent woman will die at the stake.
How can we help?
Sign my petition to the king.
Law petition? Law petition?
I didn't realize that Phoebus had a brilliant law petition up his sleeve. Esmeralda is as good as free. Into the fire.
And a petition. Most impressive.
But both of you men know I cannot read a word.
The young woman has been falsely accused.
How do you know, Padre?
I am not at liberty to say, except to hope that the person who told me is man enough to tell you.
Ooh, Frollo didn't expect the man card play by exposition priest there. Be a man! Confess your crap!
All right. It's a lie.
What an unbelievable turn of events! So really, though, Phoebus's law petition and flyers amounted to nothing.
Frollo immediately has confessor's remorse, though, and heads off to do the sensible thing and kill Esmeralda himself.
Yeah, you blow all right, Quasimodo.
Walk into it!
gypsy witch!
Yay! Now Quasimodo can die and rot holding Esmeralda and Phoebus's corpses after he no doubt murders them in a jealous rage. As from what little I got from Quasimodo in this version, he seemed to be an extremely obsessive and unstable individual. And what else really sums up the Hunchback of Notre Dame but pirate treasure? Guess that really goes with the wizard story theme at least, right? Well, this was yet another adaptation that really shafted Quasimodo and overall had poor characterization for everyone. But Good Times This was better, even with Quasimodo's Stockholming Esmeralda into loving him. I guess that's what happened there. Burbank's second Hunchback isn't dreary like its first, but man is it ever awkward and poorly paced. There's just a ton of shots where characters are looking around at nothing in particular and long pauses between some of the dialogue. Plus, having looked at Jetlag's anime-looking Hunchback not that long ago, it just makes this one look that much worse in comparison. Ugly, choppy, and awkward, but at least we learned that hot people aren't witches, unless they are.
Doesn't seem too friendly. These monsters seem so fake. My nerves, they're gonna break. Please don't let me down. You need to be around to grab that running one up and blast that scene a new one.
I'm evil. Oh, never mind. It comes right off.